Panthers at Eagles. The Eagles blow a 17-0 fourth quarter lead. Clutch Cam Newton delivers 21-17 win in Lincoln Financial Field. Cam Newton goes 25 of 39, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the game-winning pass to tight end Greg Olsen. Newton also converted on a 4th and 10 on that drive to wide receiver Torrey Smith. Big clutch Cam Newton in this game. That's all you can really say. I don't know how the Eagles blow a 17-0 home lead, but they found a way to do it. Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz goes 30 of 37 for 310 yards, 2 touchdowns and a fumble. Panthers wide receiver Devin Funchess, 6 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown. Eagles wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey, 7 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown. Panthers defensive end Wes Horton registers the game-winning sack and a forced fumble on Carson Wentz. It looked like the Eagles were going to come down and still win this game even after the Panthers drive. They had enough time. Wentz came down, had an opportunity, but the Panthers get pressure on him, force a fumble, and that was that. Huge win for the Panthers. They needed this win. It gets them to 4-2, much better spot than 3-3. And the Eagles drop to 3-4. It's a big loss for the Eagles, and they'll look to get back to 500 in Week 8 at the Jaguars in London. So, not in Jacksonville, in London, but against the Jags, 2 3-4 teams. That'll be a big game for both teams. If you were to tell me at the beginning of the year that either the Eagles or the Jags, one of these two teams are going to be 3-5 at the end of Week 8, I'd be like, wow. I don't know if I'd believe you. That's crazy. I would say I guess the Eagles would have a shot, but that's insane. So do I think either of these two teams will turn it around? I still do. Panthers are going to be in the mix for the playoffs, and I think I have them as my wild card in place of the Giants. So 4-2 is a good spot to be at. The Eagles at 3-4, I picked them to win the division, and no one's running away with the division, but 3-4 is not a good spot to be almost halfway through the season. Let's go to the Browns at the Bucs, where the Bucs take care of the Browns, take down the Browns in overtime, 26-23 on a ridiculous 59-yard game-winning field goal in Raymond James Stadium. Just a crazy game. Bucs quarterback Jameis Winston combines for 420 yards, a rushing touchdown, and 3 turnovers. 2 picks and a fumble. Rarely do you get the win after that many turnovers, but the Bucs found a way. Jameis found a way. The Browns rookie quarterback Baker Mayfield throws 23 of 34 for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's crazy to me that Winston has 3 turnovers, Baker has none, and the Bucs still get the win. But the Browns as a team had turnovers as well. Bucs wide receiver Mike Evans, 7 catches for 107 yards. Browns running back Nick Chubb, 18 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. He's the rookie, Nick Chubb, and he's doing pretty well, and he's expected to be the number 1 running back going forward, as the Browns have traded Carlos Hyde, their number 1 running back, to the Jaguars for a 5th-round pick. So interesting trade there, sends Hyde to the Jaguars and puts more of the onus on rookie running back Nick Chubb, and Duke Johnson is their other running back. Browns star wide receiver Jarvis Landry, 10 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. Browns defensive end Myles Garrett had 2 sacks in the game. Bucs defensive end Carl Nassib, 2 sacks as well. And Bucs kicker Chandler Catanzaro kicks 2 for 3 on field goals and 2 for 3 on extra points. Catanzaro missed a potential game-winning 40-yard field goal to end regulation, but made up for it in overtime by making a 59-yarder. crazy. The Browns just keep figuring out new ways to lose because that's a ridiculous kick, ridiculous length, and clutch by Catanzaro. Great kick. The Browns have yet to win on the road since 2015. And a source says, quote, "The ice under Hugh Jackson is as thin as it can possibly get. Not sure if he makes it to the bye, which is week 11. So they're saying that Hugh Jackson could get fired very shortly. We'll see. Browns sitting at 2-4-1 after this loss. And they just as easily could have been 3-3-1. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's all on Hugh Jackson, but I mean, they're a young team now. Bucs linebacker Quan Alexander out for the season with a torn ACL. A big loss there for Tampa Bay. Their defense is already struggling, and losing a guy like Quan Alexander is huge, and that's going to hurt the team for sure. Going forward, they're sitting at 3-3. The Browns will look to get a win in Week 8 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh at the 3-2-1 Steelers. The winner of that game will win the series after they tied in Week 1. So winner takes all in the Week 8 Browns at Steelers. That'll be interesting to watch. Of those teams, either of them make the playoffs, no and no. I say the Browns miss the playoffs. And even though the Bucs are sitting at 3-3, I say they're in a tough division and they miss the playoffs. Let's go to the Texans at the Jags. 2 3-3 teams. And I picked the Jags to win this with that defense. Deshaun Watson nursing an injury. And speaking of that injury, Deshaun Watson dealing with a bruised lung and injured ribs is precautionary decision not allowed to fly to the game in Jacksonville. So instead he took a bus 800 miles from Houston to Jacksonville for the game. So obviously he has a decent injury going on. Bruised lung sounds pretty crazy. Injured ribs, I've heard, it's hard to breathe. Watson plays through the injury, guts it out against the Jags in Jacksonville in that intimidating defense, and gets the win 20-7. Extends the Texans' winning streak to 4 games. They started the year 0-3. The Houston Texans are now 4-3. Deshaun Watson goes 12 of 24 for 139 yards and a touchdown. Jags quarterback Blake Bortles definitely struggles in this game. Combines for 91 yards and 2 fumbles before being benched in favor of backup quarterback Cody Kessler. Kessler stepped in and goes 21 of 30 for 156 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Cody Kessler out of USC in college, but Blake Bortles struggling once again. Horrible game for him. A stat on Bortles, he leads the NFL over the last 5 seasons in interceptions with 72. So for all you Bortles fans, there's a stat for you. And you guys might have to figure out what to do going forward. Texans running back Lamar Miller goes 22 carries for 100 yards and a touchdown. Jags running back TJ Yeldon combines for 68 yards and a touchdown. Texans wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best in the game, 3 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. He was guarded by Jalen Ramsey all game, and he had an incredible one-handed catch while being guarded by Ramsey. Texans defensive end Jadeveon Clowney, 7 tackles and 2 sacks in the game. Jags head coach Doug Marrone says after the game that the quarterback job is up for grabs. Quote, "We've got to stop turning the damn ball over, period," end quote. So, crisis in Jacksonville as they fall to 3-4, and they got to figure out something at the quarterback position. You see them making a trade to acquire Carlos Hyde. They give up a 5th-round pick to get Carlos Hyde from the Browns. So maybe that's indicating that the Leonard Fournette injury is going to be a problem, is going to keep him out. because you don't go make that kind of a trade unless you feel a need. And so you got TJ Yeldon, you add Carlos Hyde, and maybe we won't see Fournette. I've heard some people say that Hyde is maybe a long-term fix for Leonard Fournette. Peter King, I believe, said that, and I don't know if I believe that. I'm not ready to write Leonard Fournette off yet. Just last year, he was a beast and a problem all year long, so I don't see Carlos Hyde as a long-term replacement for Leonard Fournette. I think that's a little off the wall of a take by Peter King, but Carlos Hyde is a good fill-in for if it's short-term. It's a good fill-in, and then TJ Yeldon is a good number 2. That's his perfect spot for TJ Yeldon as a number 2 running back, and he's one of the best number 2s. He's a good number 2. So with the Jags having all these quarterback issues, I mean, we were talking about this all last year. I'm going to bring it up again. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think that all signs should point to the Jags. If the Jags are smart and Bortles is not the answer, offer a trade to the Giants for Eli Manning. Eli Manning, with that nasty defense in Jacksonville, with a running game, and reunite him with Tom Coughlin, who knows, maybe that can bring back the old Eli Manning. But Bortles is not proven to be the guy. I mean, maybe next week he'll have a good game and get a win against the Eagles in London, but horrible game here in Week 7 at home against a division rival. Texans safety Andre Hall returns for the first time this season after being diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in May, and was in the starting lineup for this game, so good to see him back. Good to see that he beats his cancer and gets back on the field. That's awesome. Let's go to the Saints at the Ravens, a big game here. I was really looking forward to this game, and I watched it closely. Clutch Flacco drive late, falls short. He gets the touchdown. Flacco delivered. Flacco did his job. But automatic, very reliable, one of the best kickers in the game, Justin Tucker, misses his first career extra point. And the Saints win 24-23. Down 24-17, Flacco leads them down the field. Game-winning touchdown pass, or should have been game-tying touchdown pass. And Justin Tucker comes up, pressure kick. Misses the extra point. Saints win just like that. Big win for the Saints. They improved to 5-1. Ravens fall to 4-3. Drew Brees goes 22 of 30, 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brees throws his 500th career touchdown pass, joining Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and Tom Brady as the only quarterbacks in NFL history to accomplish that feat. That's insane. That's outstanding company for Brees. Good to see him get it. Especially after that, what people were saying could have been career-ending shoulder injury there when he left San Diego Chargers. The then San Diego Chargers. And good to see him with the Saints. Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco, 23 of 39, 279 yards and 2 touchdowns. Including the clutch 2-minute drive for a tie if Justin Tucker could have made that extra point. Saints running back Alvin Kamara combines for 75 yards and a touchdown. Ravens wide receiver John Brown, 7 catches, 134 yards and a touchdown. Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas, 7 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. Ravens kicker Justin Tucker had made 222 career extra points in a row before Sunday's missed kick. His only miss of the game and his first extra point miss of his NFL career. Insane. The Saints then trade 4th and 7th round picks to the Giants for corner Eli Apple. So decent acquisition there for the Saints, looking for help in the defensive back. Looking for pass coverage help. So Eli Apple is a newly acquired Saint. At 5-1, the Saints they seem to be going all out this year. They're trying to get Drew Brees a ring on the way out. They want to see him retire on top. The Ravens fall to 4-3 with this home loss and will look to bounce back in Week 8 at Carolina. If you guys listened last week, I called this game. I said that the Ravens is a very I would almost always pick the Ravens in this game. I said it's an uncharacteristic pick, but I'm taking the Saints because I feel it. The Saints are the better team. The Ravens are inconsistent, and the Saints are going to find a way to get it done, and they did. In a great game. It was a fun as hell game to watch. I'm hoping the Ravens can make the playoffs at 4-3. They're right on the cusp, and the 5-1 Saints should win their division and have a home playoff game, maybe a first round bye. Let's go to Santa Clara, California, where the Rams stay unbeaten and improve to 7-0, winning in Levi Stadium against the 49ers. They stampede the Niners 39-10. Not even close a game. Jared Goff, as we predicted, Jared Goff goes 18 of 24 for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. Niners quarterback C.J. Beathard, 15 of 27 for 170 yards, 1 touchdown and 3 turnovers, 2 picks and a fumble. Again, the turnovers will get you beat. Rams star running back Todd Gurley combines for 86 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's a MVP candidate, beasting again this year. Niners running back Raheem Mostert combines for 78 yards. Rams wide receiver Brandon Cooks, 4 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. And Niners tight end George Kittle, 5 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. He's been a beast ever since he stepped on the field as a rookie. George Kittle's been making plays. He's a good tight end. Rams star defensive tackle Aaron Donald with a monster game, 9 tackles and 4 sacks in this game. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago, or maybe even preseason, but we were saying how Aaron Donald he's a defensive tackle, you think run stopper, but he's had 10 plus sacks every year of his career. And so far this year, going into week 8, he already has 8 sacks on the season. So Aaron Donald, definitely worth the money. The Niners will look to get a win in week 8 at the Arizona Cardinals. That'll be a battle of 2 1-6 ball clubs. And the Rams improved to 7-0, last unbeaten team, and are gunning for the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Dallas Cowboys go to FedEx Field in Washington, D.C., and the Cowboys see a field goal bounce off the upright as the Redskins take the division lead 20-17. Redskins improve to 4-2. Cowboys drop to 3-4. Alex Smith goes 14 of 25 for 178 yards and a touchdown. Cowboys Dak Prescott 22 of 35, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 rushing, and 2 fumbles. Redskins veteran running back Adrian Peterson, 24 carries for 99 yards. He's doing an excellent job for how old he is. Adrian Peterson still getting it done. Been much better help for the Redskins than we anticipated. And they weren't going to sign him until Darius Geis got hurt and was out for the year. So he's really worked out for them. Great fallback option for the Redskins. I don't know if Geis would have been doing this well. Although I do think he will be a very talented pro running back. Cowboys star running back Zeke Elliott held to just 42 combined yards, second lowest total of his NFL career. So the Redskin defense stepping up big. You shut down Zeke Elliott, you shut down the Cowboys, it seems. But Cowboy fans would say they were a made field goal away from going to overtime in this one. Redskins' leading receiver was their running back Capri Bibbs, 4 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. Cowboys rookie wide receiver Michael Gallup, 3 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. Redskins linebacker Ryan Kerrigan, 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble that resulted in 7 points. Playmaker. Ryan Kerrigan's been doing it for a long time. Cowboys long snapper LP Ladouceur flagged for a snap infraction on the game-tying field goal attempt, resulting in a 5-yard penalty, which moved the ball back. So the field goal, instead of a 47-yarder, Brett Maher is looking at a 52-yard field goal. LP says that he doesn't understand the flag. Quote, "Never had that before. I've done the exact same thing every time for 14 years." End quote. Weird call in such a big moment. And it definitely hurt the Cowboys. It hurts anybody, any kicker. You move them back 5 yards there, and it's going to affect their confidence. And so, sucks for the Cowboys on that one. Cowboys kicker Brett Maher goes 1 of 2 for field goals on the game, missing the game-tying 52-yard field goal and hitting the goalpost. It had enough leg, just hit the post. Usually outspoken Cowboys owner Jerry Jones does not speak after the loss. Seemed frustrated, canceled his interview. The next day he trades a first-round pick to the Raiders for wide receiver Amari Cooper. Now, I feel like you're like me. I did a couple polls on Facebook and Twitter, and a lot of you agree that a first-round pick for Amari is too expensive, is crazy. I wouldn't even... Me personally, I wouldn't give up a second. If I was desperate for a wide receiver, I might give up a third-round pick for Amari Cooper. But I'm definitely not giving up a first. And what I think happened is the Eagles have been rumored to have offered a second-rounder for Cooper. The Cowboys probably heard that and are like, no way in hell are we letting our division rival get Amari Cooper. We need him more. So they one-up the Eagles and go first-round pick. And they got him. So if that's what they need to do, then good on them. If that's who they believe in, then good for the Cowboys to go and get the guy they want. Make a move, get a guy, and try to improve your team. Now, if it was up to me, I would have rather gone after a guy like Demaryius Thomas in Denver. I would gladly give up a first-round pick for him. I think he's a much better receiver. I would rather have Dez Bryant. I'd rather bring Dez Bryant back than have Amari Cooper, to be honest. So... I think that the Cowboys do improve their team a little bit here, but the first round is an expensive price to pay for Amari Cooper, who the debate has been, is he a number one wide receiver? Cowboys have been missing a number one wide receiver. Have they addressed it now? I say no. I say this is a perfect, prototypical number two when he's on his game. So, that's just my opinion. We'll see if that helps the Cowboys going forward, because their receiving core does need an upgrade. The Cowboys will look to get back to 500 in Week 9. They head into their bye at 3-4. Really could have used a win there going into their bye with momentum, but they go into their bye at 3-4 and will try to fix some things before Week 9. Let's go to Sunday Night Football, where the Bengals go to Arrowhead and the Chiefs scalp the Bengals 45-10. The Bengals dropped to 4-3, 2 straight losses. The Chiefs improved to 6-1. Cincy has now lost 9 straight games on Sunday Night Football. Not good. Poor Bengals fans. Every time you guys get on primetime TV, you guys find a way to blow it. That sucks. Chiefs are a tough matchup, though. Patrick Mahomes throws 28 of 39 for 358 yards, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton, 15 of 29 for 148 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Chiefs running back Kareem Hunt combines for 141 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bengals receiver A.J. Green, 7 catches for 117 yards. Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill, 7 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. Chiefs safety Ron Parker catches an interception and returns it 33 yards for a pick 6 in this game. The Bengals will look to bounce back in Week 8 at home against Tampa Bay. So that should be a winnable game for them. For the Chiefs, they are looking great. They're firing on all cylinders. They improved to 6-1. But the Chargers right on their tails at 5-2, so that'll be an interesting matchup going down the stretch. Chiefs already won in LA, I do believe. So the Bengals go from 4-1 to 4-3, coming back down to reality. I think that's what we all expected, and the Bengals, a chance to get a win against Tampa Bay next week. So that's pretty much the bright side for them. I don't see the Bengals making the playoffs, although they will be fighting for it with Baltimore for a wild card. Let's go to the Monday Night Football game where the Giants go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta and lose 23-20. Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan goes 31 of 39 for 379 yards and a touchdown. Giants quarterback Eli Manning 27 of 38 for 399 yards and a touchdown. Falcons running back Tevin Coleman combines for 82 yards and a touchdown. Giants rookie Saquon Barkley combines for 94 yards and a touchdown. First time so far in his NFL career that Barkley's been held under 100 combined yards. So good on the Falcons defense there. I didn't see that coming. Falcons defense has been bad, but they hold the Giants to just 20 points. Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones, 9 catches for 104 yards and a fumble. Giants star wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., 8 catches for 143 yards and a touchdown. Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard, 5 catches for 167 yards. I think what Atlanta did, now that I'm reading this right, and going back to watching the game, I think that the Falcons were like, we're going to shut down Saquon Barkley. We're going to put all of our attention on Saquon Barkley, and he's the true game changer. And we'll let the receivers, let Eli Manning go for almost 400 yards. But as long as we hold Saquon Barkley in check, we can win the game. And that's pretty much what happened. The receivers went off. But Falcons defensive tackle Grady Jarrett, 5 tackles and 2 sacks. I think if you're Atlanta's defense, you have to do shit like that. Like, you have to pick your battles because they're so beat up that they're not going to be able to stop both sides, the rush and the pass. They got to pick one. So good on them. Atlanta kicker Giorgio Tavecchio kicks 3 of 3 on field goals, 2 of 2 on extra points, including a 56-yard field goal late to make it a 2-score game. At that point, alright, so I had beef with this. It was 20-6, and the Giants scored a touchdown. And like I was saying earlier in the podcast, they were saying, like, these coaches are being aggressive for no reason, and I don't understand it. Here, Pat Shurmur decides to be aggressive and go for 2, which makes no sense. Because if you don't get it, then you're forced to go for 2 next time. Even if you're going to go for 2 at some point there, don't go for 2 there. Wait until you score the second touchdown, and then go for 2 to take the lead. Even then, I disagree with it. So I disagree with the whole premise of going for 2. The percentages are way higher on extra point than they are for 2-point conversions. And especially when you have an offense, you got an inconsistent thrower like Eli, you got that offense, kick it. Take the higher percentage one. Keep it a 7-point game. Keep your momentum. People forget about momentum. People, you score a touchdown there, and you score a touchdown before the extra point, right? And momentum's high. Everyone's, we just scored. There's a big load off your shoulders. You go and kick the extra point. It's closer to an automatic. It's a 7-point game. You're like, let's build on this. You go for 2, and you don't get it, or you miss the extra point. There's a letdown. You're like, shit. Like, we scored, but this didn't go our way. You want to build things on top of each other that are going your way, and that's how you build momentum. So you don't get the 2, or you miss the extra point. Shit, you get a bad feeling. you're not piling. It's a bad feeling. Shit didn't go your way there. So your momentum isn't building anymore. It switches. It goes back. So they go for two. They don't get it. It's 20-12. The 56-yarder by Tavecchio makes it 23-12 Atlanta. So, two-score game. It would have been anyways. It would have been 23-13 even if they kicked it. But again, let's say he missed that 56-yarder. Instead of only needing 7 points to tie, now you need 8 to tie. Now you have to go for 2, and I just don't like being in that position. It's hard enough to go down and score a touchdown. To get a 2-point conversion on top of that, it just sucks. I would much rather want to kick that extra point, tie it. Let's see what happens in overtime, because crazy things happen in football. And I don't want to be the guy, as the head coach or player on my team, I don't want to make the decision whether we win or lose. I want the opponent to make the decision. Because a lot of times the opponent, if you put it in their hands, they'll lose a game. They'll make a mistake. When the pressure's on and you have to do something right, a lot of these teams will make, a lot of these quarterbacks will make mistakes. A lot of these coaches, you see it week after week. If you trust your defense, then do it that way. And after this game, the Giants, in a surprising move here, I didn't really see this coming, but it looks like the Giants are moving players and going full on into rebuild mode. The Giants ship defensive tackle Damon Snacks Harrison, the best run stopper in the game, at defensive tackle to the Detroit Lions for a 5th-round pick. A big get for the Lions. Giants stockpiling draft picks as they also trade corner Eli Apple to the Saints for a 4th and a 7th-round pick. So Giants are, it's a fire sale. They're moving on from players. Hey, if I'm the Bears, I'm calling to see if the Giants are trying to get rid of Landon Collins or if they're trying to get rid of Olivier Vernon. Because, shit, I'll give them a 5th-round pick for one of those guys. Giants will look to get a win in Week 8, a home game against the 4-2 Redskins. Good win for the Falcons. They were 2-4 before. They moved to 3-4, and we'll see if they can get back to 500 in Week 8. Let's go to our Week 8 predictions. One last thing on the Raiders, who are on the bye this week, have placed veteran running back Marshawn Lynch on injured reserve. And they also trade Amari Cooper to the Cowboys, which I honestly think this is a good trade for the Raiders. Cooper wasn't doing anything for Oakland, and I think they got way more back than I expected. Getting a 1st-round pick back for Amari Cooper is a win in Oakland. Let's go to our Week 8 predictions. Thursday night, the 4-3 Dolphins at the 4-3 Texans. I'm riding with the injured Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to tough it out. I think the Texans are going to continue their winning streak, improve their winning streak to 5 games, and go to 5-3 and beat the Dolphins on Thursday night. Brock Osweiler expected to start once again. So Osweiler versus Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless. I'm going, Jonathan Joseph, Tyrann Mathieu. I'm going Texans here to improve to 5-3 and drop the Dolphins to 4-4. Remember, again, the Dolphins started the year 3-0 under Tannehill. So let's go to Sunday, where the Jets go to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. The 3-4 Jets at the 3-3 Bears. This time, my heart and my head agree. I'm going Bears here with the win. I'd like the Bears to improve to 4-3, and the Jets to fall in 3-5. You got a rookie quarterback in Sam Darnold going against a pretty good Bears defense. They haven't really played like it the last 2 weeks, but I expect them to this week. I expect the Bears defense to be back. I expect Khalil Mack to have a better game and make some kind of impact on the field. And Trubisky to continue to improve. Hopefully cuts down on the turnovers. And I got the Bears getting a win here, improving to 4-3. And like I said earlier in the podcast, this is a must-win. This week at home against the Jets and next week at Buffalo are 2 must-wins for the Bears in a competitive division. So let's see if they can get it done. Let's go to the Eagles at the Jags on Sunday morning. The 3-4 Eagles, let's just say versus the 3-4 Jags in London. So really no home field advantage here. I'm going Eagles, Jags. I'm going Eagles here. Yeah, coming off a loss, I'm going Eagles to improve to 4-4. The Jags to drop to 3-5. Whichever one of these two teams do drop to 3-5, it's gonna be chaos that week. They've dropped to 3-5. Neither of these teams should be 3-5, and it's gonna be chaos in that building. And I'm picking the Jags to fall to 3-5. And if it is, man, Blake Bortles could certainly be out of there, and that's gonna be crazy. Or out of the starting spot at least. Maybe they make a move for somebody, but the Jags have to do something. And so do the Eagles. You have to find a win this week. I think this is a must-win for both teams. So I'll really be watching this Sunday morning in London. 2 must-wins. This is like playoff football already. Also on Sunday, the 3-3 Tampa Bay Bucs at the 4-3 Bengals. I've got the Bengals winning this, getting back to 5-3, and the Bucs falling to 3-4. Bucs losing Quan Alexander hurts. And I think the Bengals will find a way to get it done. The 3-3 Seahawks at the 3-3 Lions. I'm going with the Seahawks on the road. I like Russell Wilson to have a good game and get the Seahawks to get a big road win in Ford Field, improve to 4-3. It's a big opportunity for Detroit at home to get to 4-3 and be right there in the contention for the division. So Lions, if they can keep the pressure on, this is a big opportunity for the Detroit Lions, and we'll see if they can try and if they can succeed in establishing the run again this coming week. The 3-4 Broncos go to Arrowhead to battle the 6-1 Chiefs, already their second matchup of the season. I'm rooting for the Broncos in this game. But in Arrowhead is a tough place to win, and Mahomes and that Chiefs offense has been on fire. So I'm going to go with my head here and say the Chiefs win this. Division games, you never know. Division games throw the record out oftentimes in division rivalry battles. But I'm going to go Chiefs here. I just think they're the better team. Unless Von Miller gets 4 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, and the Broncos get a pick 6, I don't see them winning this game. I don't think they're high-powered enough on offense. So the defense is going to have to score and hold the Chiefs down in order for them to get that win in Arrowhead. Let's go to the Browns at the Steelers. The first time these two teams matched up was week 1 and they tied. So the winner of this game, Browns at Steelers on Sunday, will be for the series. Will win the series. So I'm going Steelers here. And things will start to make a little bit more sense in the AFC North if the Steelers go to 4-2-1 and the Browns drop to 2-5-1. Things will seem to be figuring themselves out now. We got the 4-3 Ravens at the 4-2 Panthers. This is a game I've got the Ravens with a road win in Carolina. Ravens are inconsistent. Good one week, bad the next. So are the Panthers. Good one week, bad the next. Well, the Ravens were lost this week, and the Panthers were great, or won, and they're going to flip-flop. Ravens are going to win in week 8, and Panthers are going to lose. Panthers will drop to 4-3. Ravens will improve to 5-3. Ravens with a big road win in Carolina. Book it. Let's go to a big game here. The 3-2-1 Packers at the 7-0 LA Rams, the last undefeated team in football, the Rams. I believe Cooper Kupp is out of this game. I'd have to double check that. I know he's been hurt. So Packers in LA could pose a threat. You know, Aaron Rodgers gets up for games like this. And but you know, I want to see Green Bay lose, so I got the Rams staying undefeated, improving to 8-0, and the Packers falling to 500 at 3-3-1. We'll see. Packers need a win to stay with the leaders in the NFC North, but I got the Rams. Sunday Night Football, the 5-1 Saints at the 4-2-1 Vikings is must-watch football, as is that Rams Packers. Pretty much a lot of these games are. Ravens Panthers is a big game to watch. Packers at Rams is must-watch TV. Sunday night, Saints at Vikings on NBC is absolutely must-watch TV. Rematch of the NFC, the Minnesota Miracle last year with Stephon Diggs. And I can't wait for this game. 5-1 Saints at the 4-2-1 Vikings. I'm picking the Vikings to win. I know a lot of you are going to go Saints, but I'm going Vikings at home with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is better than Case Keenum. And I got the Vikings winning this game. Let's go to Monday Night Football. Patriots at Bills. 5-2 Patriots at the 2-5 Bills. Regardless of who the Bills start at quarterback, whether it's Nathan Peterman, Derek Anderson, or who knows, who cares? Patriots are taking this one, probably by 30 points. 5-2 Patriots will improve to 6-2. Bills will fall to 2-6. Same old AFC East, am I right? So, that's Week 8. Looking forward to it. That's the Week 8 episode of the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast. Hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave a comment. Check us out on YouTube. Check me out on Twitter at Freakaleak1209. Give me a follow. Thanks for everyone for the support. I appreciate all you guys. Wouldn't be doing this without you. And I'm going to keep rocking. Next week I hope to have a former NFL guest to interview. And I hope to have some friends on the episode as well. So looking forward to that. And we'll have some new voices on, new friends on coming up here shortly. So looking forward to all that. And thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. And we'll be back again next week. Peace out.